In this video, I'm giving you the ultimate beginner's guide to Genspark, your all-in-one AI super agent. We'll walk through everything from account setup and prompt writing basics to the most powerful features on the platform: AI slides, docs, images, and videos. Whether you're a content creator, student, or entrepreneur, I'll show you how to use each tool effectively and choose the right pricing plan for your workflow. All right, so first thing that you'd want to do is that you want to go into the website of Genspark, which is in the link in the description, or you could just go into genspark.ai. And then once you're here, you want to navigate here at the bottom left. You want to log in first. So you want to click here and make sure that you sign in if you haven't already, or sign up if you don't have an account yet. So just click here on the sign button, and then you'd now be able to provide your login details, such as your Google account, Microsoft, or Apple account, or you could log in with your email. So depending on how you'd want it. Once you're logged in, you may now use the features here on Genspark, and you would be able to save your work and your progress. And as for this video, we will just be exploring a few specific popular features here on Genspark. We will not be able to explore each one of them because that would take too long and take too much credit. And also, there are so many features or agents, as Genspark would call it, right here on Genspark. As you can see, we have a slides, sheets, docs, developer, designer, and many more. And not just this ones. We also have it right here. When you click here on new, we also have the call for me, download for me, AI meeting notes, fact check, and many more other features right here that can still be explored. So you can feel free to explore that. As for this one, we will just be focusing on the popular features or most used features here in Genspark. But first of all is that we're going to go here. So this is more of a general type because we haven't selected any of the tools here yet. So if I click here on AI slice, as you can see, I will now be prompted into a different page right here. So yeah, this is more of a general type of thing right here. You can ask the AI to make anything, ask it about anything, and it would give you the answer. But before we do our prompt right here, let's first explore these buttons right here. What does each of this mean? It's very important because here in the personalized button is where you would be able to select the information that Genspark would use about you in order for Genspark to curate a specific answer or personalize it according to your information that would be much more appropriate for you. So here in the nickname, and what do you do? Let's say a video creator. And then your profile, I make video tutorials on YouTube. Maybe something like that. And then what traits should Genspark have? So you could also curate the traits that Genspark have right here. You can make it chatty, really straight shooting. I would want straight shooting. And forward thinking, and really, yeah, I think this 3 is good for me. And then you also have the others right here, but it would require you to upgrade your plan if you'd want custom instructions for Genspark. In my case, I don't need this, so I'm just going to click here on save right there. And now here it is. We now have the Genspark super agent right here and personalized info updated, as you can see right here. Now you can begin the chat if you would want to with the personalized data that you have right here. So that's also one way. Now let's just go back in here and let's just go into the home page again. And when we click on personalize, you'd now be able to see that it is now saved. So now you don't have to set it again, and then you can just go and create a new chat right here. And if you're wondering where you can see the chats, you can click here, and then this is where you'd be able to see your history of chats. Next is that we have this button, the wrench icon. And this is where we would be able to integrate Genspark with other tools. This is useful so that you can customize your environment based on your tech stack or your niche, whatever it is that you have right here that you would need to integrate with Genspark. You could just click here on install, and then you would now be able to install that, though some of the apps require Genspark browser in order for you to be able to integrate them into Genspark. This also speeds up development by embedding Genspark's AI into your favorite tools, and it makes Genspark more than just a chat assistant. It becomes part of your coding workflow if you do coding. And next is that we have this one, the clip icon. So this is where you'd be able to attach files. You can click here on browse local files, and it will now be able to bring this pop-up right here where you can select the file that you'd want to attach here into your chat in Genspark. And then you could also use voice right here, voice command or voice chat right here with Genspark agent. If that is what you want, you could just allow it right here in your browser. And next is that we have this. So this is basically just the enter button just to submit your chat. So let's say something right here. Just for an example, let's say I would want you to give me top topics for my next YouTube video. I want it to be about Shopify. Let's say something like that. And I'm gonna now hit enter. And it should use the personalized information that I put right here, because remember, I did say that I am a video creator and I make video tutorials in YouTube, so I expect that the topics that the Genspark would give me is about a tutorial and so on. So yeah, it's correct. Tutorial, tutorial, tutorial. And here it is. AI and automation, the hottest trend, and so on right here. Now we have this one. So yeah, here it is. And it also drops me some reference videos right here from YouTube, which I really like, as I think it would be really helpful for me to get some references regarding the titles so that I have some data to work on, not just on text. So yeah, that is basically it for the general ones, super agent right here as they call it. Now let's go back here into the homepage, and in here is that we will now explore this specific features right here. First is the AI slides. So I'm gonna go click on that. And then here, you would now be able to see that you have this prompt box right here. You can enter a prompt, you can attach something, you can use a voice command, and you can hit send. And in here, you can go for explore, and you can go for my templates in here where you can see all your saved templates. So here in explore is where you'd be able to see all the templates that you can use. So in here, if you'd want a template, let's say that I really like this one. So I would want to click here on this template and click on use template. And basically same thing, it would now be attached right here into your prompt so that AI or Genspark would be using this template when making your slides. So I'm just gonna put in a general prompt right here. So let's say I would want to make me a presentation. Let's be specific actually, 5 slides presentation about making a good prompt. Let's test it out if it would actually follow my instructions and how well the presentation is made right there. I'm gonna click here on send, and it's now gonna make me the presentation using this template and with my specific instructions. So this is a very generic one. The only thing that's specific here is the 5 slides, but let's see if it would follow that, and I think so it did. As you can see, 5 to-dos remaining. So basically, these are the slides right here. So these are the titles of the slides and so on. I'll help you create a 5-slide presentation and so on right here. I'll import this template and using tool. So basically, you just need to wait for this to finish in creating your presentation. It might take a while because it's a first presentation, but I think it would be faster if you have the premium plan here in Genspark. In my case, I only have the free plan, so it's quite slow. But yeah, the good thing is you can live in this chat and it would still process that creation. So I could go into the homepage and go into another feature right here. And basically when I go back into the chat right here, and it should be this one. As you can see in the icon right here, we have the AI slides icon here in the chat or task list. And you want to remember this icon right here so that you'd be able to distinguish on what feature that you are using for this chat right here in the chat list. So now I'm going to go in here. And yeah, basically we just need to wait for this to finish and I'll show you the end result. All right, it is now done making the presentation, and here's the result. As you can see, it looks really good. And yeah, it really followed through the template that I have chosen, and it even generated an image. It could also do the same thing with the other image. You could make some changes, like let's say you would want some image here on slide 4, for example, then you can just type it out right here. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that. So I'm gonna go and make some changes. And if there are any other things right here that you'd want to be changed, you can always just put it right here in the chat. Tell AI to change that or change this, and it will do it. So let's say insert a slide, I mean a picture on slide 4 right here. And I'm gonna say relevant picture right here. You can be more specific on on the picture or image that you'd want to be inserted or the changes. But in my case, I'll just go for this one and click on the send, and it will now load, and we would have to wait again for it to finish. But yeah, unfortunately on this account I don't have my premium subscription, so I only have the free plan, and it really is easy to empty my credits right here on the free plan because it is only so little. So I have used this on AI slides, and it takes a lot of credits to be able to generate this. So yeah, but basically if you'd want anything changed, just type it in here in the chat, and then it will now be changed, and the AI would basically execute it. And next is that let's navigate here into the slides, and we have a couple of options. So first is that we have the preview. So basically this is the final visual output of this slide. And then, yeah, this is basically what you're seeing right now. And then go into the code. And this is where you would be able to see the underlying code or markup used to generate the slide. This is useful if you are customizing the layout, embedding logic, or tweaking styles. Often includes HTML, Markdown, or Genspark's internal formatting syntax. And next is that we have the thinking. So this is where you'd be able to see the AI's reasoning process behind the slide. It shows how it interpreted your prompt, what sources or logic it used, and why it chose certain content or information that was used. So this is great for understanding how the super agent arrived at its output and make you understand the output better. And next is that we have the fact check content. So it's super understandable. It would just fact check all the content in this slide, and it would basically just double check it just to see if there are any corrections that needs to be changed. So as you can see, when I click on that, we will now have this on the chat right here. It would automatically generate this chat. So here, page 1, fact check all the content. If the content is right, show me references with clickable links and so on right here. So you just need to send this and it will now do it. Next, let's go back here into preview. And now we're going to click on AI edit. And from here, you can now select a specific part of the slide and you can make changes for them or edit them. So for example, I would want to go here for the title, click on that. And as you can see, it will now be attached into my chat right here so that the AI knows that I would want to change this part, adjust this part of the presentation. So it's a really great way to target your changes that you'd want to be made. And then you can now type it in right here on what you would want to be changed on this specific part of the presentation. So yeah, it's that easy. And earlier I said that I would want to request to add an image here on the slide 4, right? So basically in that way, I don't need to use a edit to choose a specific part here because I just simply want it to be inserted and AI would automatically adjust the placement with that. Because anyway, I can't choose where I would want it because I could only select the elements right here that is already in the presentation. So yeah, that's it. And then basically you just use the AI edit if there are only specific parts right here that you'd want to change. But if there's something you want to insert on the presentation without changing the current elements, then you can just opt out of not using AI edit. Next, we have the advanced edit. So this opens editor in a new tab, as you can see right here. So this is a more advanced one right here. So you can format everything, and basically it's really familiar, like it's in a Microsoft PowerPoint, right? So yeah, it's basically the same thing. You can make edits right here. This one. You can format the text using this. You can see the slides in here and so on. So yeah, let's go back into AI slides. Next is that we have these buttons right here. So we have the save points. So basically the save points, what they do is that these are the snapshots of your slide deck at different stages. So Genspark automatically creates save points when you make major edits or regenerate your content. You can roll back to any previous version. So basically all of these are versions right here. Compare changes or restore a specific layout. You can think of it like a version control for a presentation, which is perfect for experimentation without losing progress. And if you really like this and you would want to use this on your future projects, you can click here and save as template. And then it will now be prompted or be located in here in your template section, which I'll show you later on. So it's now getting saved. So let's just wait for that. And then once you are now ready to export this, is that you want to now click here on view and export. And from here, you'd now be able to see and view your presentation as a whole. And then you can now click here on export, but this would require you a subscription to be able to export this right here. As you can see, upgrade to plus and so on. And this is also where you could play the slides if you'd want to present it on your screen. And now, last but not the least, is that we have this option right here. On the three dots, we can now edit this on Canva and Figma if needed. So this is a really cool way for me to be able to do the editing outside of the Genspark if the controls are not enough for me. So that's it. Let's now go back. And we are now done with the AI slides. Now let's go into the homepage and let's go to the next one. So the next thing I will be using is AI Docs, as this is also very useful and very, very popular here in Genspark. So in here, we have the templates again. So if you don't want to use the template, you can choose one right here. If not, you can just describe the style or design that you want right here on your prompt. And let's say that actually, I'm just going to go with the prompt right here. I'm not going to use any template. I'm just going to describe the style and so on. Now, I'm going to paste my prompt in here. You could also do that, or you could type it on your own right here. And then we have this toggle right here. Notice this. So the rich text produces a visually styled document with headings, fonts, spacing, and layout, which is ideal for proposals, reports, resumes, and client-facing docs. You could also go for Markdown if you would want outputs in plain text with formatting syntax, like the heading, the bold, and so on. So yeah, the formatting syntax is included here in the Markdown, which is perfect for developers, bloggers, or anyone working in GitHub, Notion, or static site generators, so that this is easier to export or convert into other formats like HTML or PDFs. In my case, I'll just go for a rich text. And again, you have your options in here to attach, record, and send. So now I'm going to send this, and it will now create the doc. Now it's currently making our doc right here, and we would now be able to see it as it is being made, which is fun. And I really think it's really good, as I see my doc being built right here from my prompt. And here it is. It is now done building the doc. And from here, we would now be able to see a summary right here. So the key features, how it's structured and its content, the professional design elements. So this is where you'd be able to see the design right here. It's subtle accent colors, which is this one, and targeted audience considerations, and so on. So it was following my prompt right here, as you can see. So we have the SWOT analysis, strategic recommendations. So let's see if we could find that in here and here, and then match the style of the strategic report template. So basically, you could also do it like this. So I said match the style of the strategic report template, which could also be found in the templates on the AI docs. And again, if you are unsatisfied here with anything and you would want to make a large change, then you can just go here into the prompt right here. Just type in your prompt on the changes that you would want to be made right here. Then you'd be able to change it. It's because the AI would automatically apply the change after you have sent it. And then you could always also go here into Markdown, but you would have to convert the document type and it would redo it right here. And now let's go here and format our document right here. So if there are any errors or changes that you would want and you think you don't need to type in a prompt right here for that change to be made, because if you do right here, then it would cost you credits. So I suggest that as much as possible, just edit it here manually so that you'd be able to save credits. And as of now, I only have 74 right here. And let's say I would want to go for an edit right here just so that I can show you on how much it costs. So it would actually depend on how grand or how difficult the edit is going to be or how big it is. So I'm just going to go for the title, for example. Change the title into a more elegant one. Maybe something like that, and go send. And it will now apply the change into the title right here. It's now thinking, so we just need to wait for that. And as you can see, it has now changed that, and we would now be able to see some more details right here. And let's go and see if we have our credits deducted. So let's wait for it to complete, and here it is. It is now completed. So now let's go here into credits, and as you can see, it has now been deducted. So I highly suggest that you just do your changes here manually as much as possible to save credits. And yeah, basically that's how you can make changes in here. If there are any changes or big changes, you can use this chat, or you could just use this formatting tools right here. You can highlight the text, and then from here, as you can see, it would also be attached here as you highlight on that specific text. So you could target this specific part to be changed. Same thing with the slides. And in here, you can now change the fonts right here. You could change the heading style, the size, bold, italic, the other formatting tools right here that you could use. And then now, once you are now satisfied with your document, what you need to do is that you can now download this right here. You can now export and so on. You could view this in full screen or in view mode right here, as you can see. And you could also edit it from here. And now let's go back. And you also have your save points, same thing with the AI slides. You could also go for your save points or versions right here if ever you'd want to roll back. And lastly, we have the title right here. You can always edit this as needed. And then we have the star, so you could save this to favorites or add a bookmark. And then we have the plus button if you would want to create another one. So yeah, that's it for the AI docs. Now let's go back into home. Next thing we're going to explore is AI image, which is the nano banana right here. I'm going to click on that. And then once you do, you will now be prompted here into this one right here. So we have some quick apps. You could use these other features right here to modify your image. We have the background remover, magic eraser, magic redraw. So these are fantastic tools that you could use. They are also really good and accurate. I have used them, and yeah, I can really recommend these ones right here. We'll not be digging deep into that. We'll be focusing on generating an image, but it's nice to know that you have these features available for you here in Genspark, right? So I'm going to click here on Generate Image. And from here is that we can now proceed into attaching a reference image right here if needed, if you'd want to. And then we can now select the models right here. As of this date, the best one that they have is Nano Banana. So that's what I'm going to select right here. You could also go for other prompts, or I mean into other models right here if you'd want. Next, we have the remix. So basically what remix does is that it would let you select an image right here, or you could upload your own if you would want to make that image as a base. So basically with this, you would now be able to start with the image that you select or upload, and then you can now go from there with your prompt, like some changes that you would want to be made with that specific image. And next is that we have the auto prompt. So this enhances or rewrites vague prompts into more descriptive, optimized versions. So here I have my prompt right here. So you can select auto prompt right there so that you would now be able to get a better prompt, especially if you're a beginner. So this is really good for beginners. In my case, I don't want it to be changed. So I'll just unselect or deselect the auto prompt right here. And then you have the auto style so that you'd be able to create your image style right here. So you can go for auto style, realistic, cartoon, watercolor, and many more. And then we have the auto size so that you could choose the framing for your image right here. So I'm just gonna go for this one right here, mobile format or framing. And now I'm gonna go click here on send, and it will now generate me the image based on my prompt with the settings that I have right here on my prompt. And here's the result right here. And from here, you will now be able to remix the image if you'd want, and then you could also convert the image to a video right here. And if you'd want to save this, just click on the image, and from here, you can click on download, or you could also copy the prompt. So yeah, this is basically it for the AI image. We are now done. So now let's go home. And there's so many other features right here that is also really good or on par with the features that we have tested so far, like the AI video. When you click on that, it's basically the same thing with the AI image. You can still see the model that you use, the remix right here from image to video, framing, auto prompt, the duration, and so on. So yeah, you can just feel free to test out each feature. They are very easy to use, and what you have learned so far will also be useful when you are creating your AI developer, designer, and other features that we haven't tested, as long as you pay attention to the options that you have on your prompt, just like what we did on the previous examples. And basically, these are not the only features that is available here in Genspark. You can click here on new on the top left, and then basically you'd be able to see more of them. You have your call for me, download for me, fact check, which is not available right here. So you could also use this a bunch of tools, and they also have some more tools inside of them, just like AI image, with some of this additional tools or features, just like this one right here. Last feature that we'll be talking about is that we have the AI Drive right here on the left menu. So this is your personal secure cloud workspace where all your AI generated content, documents, slides, spreadsheets, images, whatever it is related that you have made here in Genspark will be stored. So this is where they would be organized, saved, and accessible across tasks. So this is where you could store everything you create, support multi-file interaction, collaborative editing if needed, and then your secure storage. So the capacity here would actually depend on the plan that you have. And speaking of plans, let's now proceed into the pricing plans by going here into your profile icon on the bottom left and clicking here on upgrade plan. So here we are on the plans, and from here you want to go for annual plan if you would want to save as much as possible in the long run. As you can see here in the annual plan, you'd just be paying $19.99 or $20 per month. If you go for monthly, that would be $25 per month. So you would be saving $5 per month right here, and you multiply that by 12, which is 12 months per year. So that would be saving $60 per year. So yeah, it would be much better if you go for annual. Just click here on this button to select that plan. Now, to know which plan you would want is that here in the Plus plan, this is ideal for creators, students, and professionals who want powerful AI tools without overwhelming complexity. You get 10,000 credits monthly, unlimited AI chat, and 50 gigabytes of storage with AI Drive. It includes access to top-tier models like GPT-5, Claude Sonnet 4, Gemini 2.5 Flash, and all the latest image and video generators. This plan is perfect for building slides, documents, thumbnails, and light automation workflows. Next, we have the Pro plan. So this is built for agencies, developers, and high-volume users who need serious output and storage. It offers 125,000 credits per month, unlimited AI chats, and a massive 1 terabyte of AI drive space. You still get priority access to all agents and the same elite models and generators as the Plus plan, but with far more bandwidth. If you're running full stack workflows, automating tasks, or producing content at scale, Pro is definitely the way to go. And you can scroll down and then you'd be able to see more information. So yeah, that is basically it for the pricing plan. By now, you should now have a decision on which one is the best one for you. You could always try out the free plan if you are not yet sure, just to see what the features are here in Genspark, and then you would get 100 free credits per day so that you could test it every day. So if you'd want to get a subscription, make sure to use the link in the description. And yeah, this is basically it for the video here in Genspark. And now I have just demonstrated how awesome this tool is. This is one of my favorites because I can do almost anything right here. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.